What about me, Nip? What about me? Where is my light? Here it goes. I haven't used this thing in so long. That's crazy. What up, everyone? How crazy was that picture that I have on my community section? That was crazy. I dyed my beard and then I used, what was that? I think that was some sort of hair conditioner. Because I don't want all that stuff on my face as far as the dye. So I usually try to put some petroleum jelly all around. Didn't find that, so I just used the next best thing. There was 100 in there. Sounds a little light. Speaking of, let there be. So, you know, I've been on top of all of the black news that's out there, you know. All this black news running around. I was thoroughly paying attention. I didn't take any notes. I took a lot of mental notes, and I think that when I was on the Star Report, I think I like this one. Oh, that looks nice. When I was on the Star Report the other day, I had told Star, I said, dude, this is about Whack 100 sleeping on Hassan Campbell. I keep wanting to say Hassim. No, but it's Hassan. Hassan. They call him Haas. And they used to call him Poppy back in the days. And I knew of Hassan Campbell. It was Poppy. And let me take a sip of my ginger ale. It's a Chardonnay. Forget about it. So I just ran down here to, what up, Big Elvis? What up to you? I think that says, can't read it. The thunder sound. Nice. So I'm not those kind of people that like to say things like, I was right, I said it first. I'm not that guy. I don't like to do that. I'm going to do that now, but I'm not the type of person who looks for that. I don't look for those accolades, you know. But I said on the Star Report that Whack 100 slept on Hassan Campbell. I just got to call him Poppy. It feels so weird calling him Hassan Campbell. I don't mean any disrespect. I don't think he would feel disrespected. Because what showed up in Whack 100's life was not Hassan Campbell. That was Poppy. Poppy showed up and gathered all that information. Because he always knew that if he needed to, he can always reach in there and he'll have one last one in the chamber and it won't be for himself. See, Poppy's not gonna leave one in the chamber and that last one is for himself. No. Poppy's a jail nigga. Jail dudes never leave the last bullet for themselves because they'll just go do their time. They're not going to go out in a blaze of glory like that. And you see, Whack 100 is from a gang mentality where they do a lot of eye contact. When you're in a gang, you got to be able to look a man in his eyes. Okay? Whack 100 is not He's cunning. He's not intelligent. Whack 100 is a cunning man, not an intelligent man. And what Whack 100 did was he sized up, like I said on the Star Report, he sized up Hassan Campbell, and he figured he was just, he's bussy. And that's how he took him. Because, like I said on the Star Report, Hassan Campbell doesn't do the eye contact thing. And gang members think that's because you bussy. They think that you can be gotten because you ain't got no heart. They can see right through you. And he said it himself today. He told academics that Hassan Campbell had all that gangster body language, but he said in his eyes, he looked like you, academics. That's what Whack 100 said. Whack 100 said that Hassan Campbell, around in the eyes, looking at him, he knew that he wasn't as tough and as gangster as he is. You see, that's because Whack 100 is not an intelligent man. He doesn't understand the psyche and the mindset of the child abused person, the person who was abused as a child. Whack 100 doesn't get that. He might act like he does, but he doesn't, because if he did, he would have known that when a person has been touched as a child, they have a hard time making eye contact. And they are aware of this. It's not something they're not aware of. They're aware of it. And what it does is it makes them very angry at themselves, pissed off at the person that they're being, and become very hateful, and they become very dangerous. And when it comes to laying you down and kill you, they will kill you, and they will stomping your head until your body's not moving anymore. You see, he's so busy dealing with this gang thing and everybody doing the eye contact, reading into your body, into your soul, sizing you up. He didn't realize that there's a whole nother group of men that are just as violent, just as dangerous, if not more, due to the trauma they suffered as children. See, Whack 100, I keep saying he's not intelligent, because an intelligent man, all the questions that he asked Poppy answered it. That's Hassan Campbell, by the way. Hassan Campbell, he answered every question. When they did the podcast in LA, he asked Poppy, he says, why you got so much energy for you ready to kill somebody, but what about the energy necessary to kill the person that touched you? And Hassan Campbell, it kept on trying to explain to him, like, yo, I can't do it. I don't have the ability to do that to him, no matter how much I want. And this guy, this real jerk of a human being, Whack 100, then says, oh, so you must have enjoyed it. Like, what you saying, man? What you saying, Whack 100, that he enjoyed a child that was abused from the age of 5 to 13 enjoyed it? Are you out of your freaking mind? Like, yo, Whack 100 is really not intelligent. He doesn't probably read. He just knows how to set you up with a big old smile and a bottle of champagne, and then you wake up in a silk robe not remembering what happened the night before, but he got it all on tape. And now you belong to him. Real easy. Like, how hard is that? You just got to have evil in your heart. If you're an evil human being, these are the things that you can do easily, without a problem. So now, what we have to remember is that Whack 100, I'm getting distracted by this huge truck parking right next to me. It's like an F-350. And let me just think again. So we have Whack 100. He's now saying Hassan Campbell enjoyed it. What a real jerk move to make. How dare you say something just so despicable? You despicable human being. You low down, dirty man. How dare you say something like that? Like a child has the ability to even consent. The Supreme Court has ruled on that. That alone could get you canceled in the canceled world that we live in. So it just really irks me to hear a human being say something like that. And Hassan was like, yo, trying to answer him, trying to tell him, like, this is the things that when a person does certain things for you, it's very hard for you. And then I started to think about that movie on HBO. It's like a series. Ray Donovan. And how Ray Donovan couldn't kill the priest that sexually molested him as a child. That damn near ruined his relationship with his own brother. And Ray Donovan had the priest in this TV show with the gun to his head, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Mind you, Ray Donovan has pulled the trigger on many men. He's killed many men from when he was out in Boston all the way to LA. So now his character is based in LA, but he was a gangster and made all his, he put in work. I mean, we're talking about murder work. So Ray Donovan is the kind of person who, could take a life. So how dare this man not understand the dynamics of when you're abused as a child and the people that are abusing you and the effects that can have on you. The nerve of Whack 100, how stupid this man is. And he was beaten all around the bush when it came time to discussing what did he mean when he say press. When I press somebody, he's trying to say that I just keep on calling them, flooding them with calls after calls after calls. I'm relentless in trying to get things done for the people that I'm dealing with in some sort of way. So he uses the word press opposed to using the word, what's the other word someone would use instead of pressed? Consistent. Or, just fighting for someone. There's some sort of terminology you can use, but I got this guy next to me. He's like all over the place. Doors opening and closing and, so good though. So, I was really disappointed in Whack 100. And I really gave Hassan Campbell a lot of credit for saying in the beginning that he didn't want to talk with him one-on-one, because what's the point? It's just going to be a lot of yelling. And, here's another thing. Whack 100 is saying that Hassan Campbell had that information out for 3 months because he told them this 3 months prior to them going all the way out to LA. And that while he was there, he was he said something really, really funny. He said, I was doing everything to gaslight him. That he was trying his hardest to gaslight Hassan Campbell so that Hassan would get into some sort of confrontation with him because he wasn't worried about the men that Hassan brought. He claims he brought 7 men with him. And so Hassan had 7 guys with him at this meeting, and everything was all cool. And then he just said, I kept antagonizing him to the point where he said I was gaslighting him. I had him so gaslit. You were kicking me under the table, telling about Ack was kicking him under the table to stop. And that, and this was interesting. Ack lost a pinky ring, $10,000 pinky ring. Whack 100, why you take that pinky ring? Come on. I know you got that in your pocket. I'm not saying that Poppy and his people wouldn't do it, or the 20 people that was with 6ix9ine wouldn't have done it. I'm sure everyone there has some sort of ability to take something like that doesn't belong to them from a drunk host. And it was, the thing was, I'm a little all over the place, but I just keep thinking about how Nipsey Hussle, when it came down to it, Whack 100 absolutely is out of his mind psychopath, says that we have to blame Hassan Campbell because he tried to keep that like a secret. That was going to be a secret. I didn't want anyone to know this. Mind you, he's told academics this years ago. And then claims that many people know about what is going on as far as Nipsey Hussle. that it's like common knowledge that Nipsey Hussle has been involved in homosexual type behaviors. When I was thinking, what exactly was the homosexual behavior? And the homosexual behavior was um I think they call that snowballing. It's a snowball when you I learned that from that movie where they was doing, it was like a black and white movie. They were in a video shop, and one of the girls was talking about with her and her boyfriend, a girl in the movie. It just takes place in a VHS video rental spot. It's like one of these low budget movies from the 90s. And she's like, yeah, my boyfriend likes to snowball me. And I was like, whoa. And she explained it that he ejaculates in her mouth, and then he'll kiss her with that still in her mouth. And they saying that that's something that Nip did. And but he was saying it in a way where everyone knew that he was down with some sort of homosexual activities. And I'm thinking, he still didn't say what the homosexual activity was. Like, he was with the woman and the guy, and he kept kissing the girl after she had his penis in her mouth. And I'm like, wait a minute. He didn't do anything with the guy, though. And where's the proof that there was some sort of ending in her mouth where he was able to do that? And then how do you keep saying everybody knows about it? How does everyone know about it? And how did you get the tape? Who made the tape? And were you extorting him? These are the questions that academics didn't have no fucking heart to ask. He wouldn't ask any of these questions. He was just soft, what they call that, soft shoeing. He was so soft shoeing this interview. Ak is like, you can't be that neutral, dude, if you're trying to get to the truth. I sent in a couple of super chats. I sent in at least 2 super chats. They were $5 super chats, but with the question like, yo, dude, you're not asking the right questions. And then he even said, yeah, I want to ask the questions that everyone is asking. Stop it. The question is, who the hell recorded this activity that you claiming that everybody knows about, and that is Hassan Campbell that started blah, blah, blah? You sure it's Hassan Campbell? Sounds like you the one telling everybody about a video that you have, and how you were trying to protect him from this, and how like you're some sort of savior. You saved and helped Nipsey Hussle. How the hell did you help him when you have a tape of him? And then there's supposed to be a tape of De La Hoya. There's supposed to be a tape of the Kardashians. Like, maybe Whack 100 he's the Donovan of his town. He's the Ray Donovan. If obviously, to go back to Ray Donovan, this is the kind of stuff that Ray Donovan did. It's what Whack 100 is doing. The problem is the guy from the TV show doesn't talk like Whack 100 does. It's like you got to slap the taste out of his mouth just to get him to shut up. Whack 100, he's talking to a person he doesn't even know. Hassan Campbell is not your friend. Why? And Hassan Campbell's not in the industry. Hassan Campbell is a blogger. This is what I told Star. That Whack 100 doesn't get blogger versus entertainer, rapper. You see these rappers, they come in and they all polished and they got that one hit song, and Whack 100 comes in and he does what he does, says what he does. And most of these guys, they're like kind of nerds. They're not real tough. They're really, they're just artists. And they got a hit song and they're wearing the right clothes and they got this on and that on. But for the most part, they're real square. Their crew might not be. Their brother, their older brother, whatever, you know how it goes. But my whole thing is, how the hell is Whack 100 in possession of all of these tapes? He must be the Ray Donovan of his era. He's not the Suge Knight of his era. You see, Suge Knight is different. Suge Knight is not really the problem solver. He creates problems. It seems like Whack 100 is the problem solver of this little world, and he tried to jump into the YouTube space. He saw Hassan Campbell had all those numbers, all those people watching him every day, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 in his live, that he sized him up the wrong way, the way he would do a rapper, and not understanding that Hassan Campbell's not a rapper. He's a blogger. And bloggers ain't having it. Bloggers are not going to want the same thing that an artist wants. An artist wants a little more shine. A blogger kind of wants to break a story. It's like a journalist. And Wack just couldn't understand that. He couldn't get that. He saw the numbers. He sized them up. Oh, this dude is bussy. And I'm going to do whatever I'm going to say. But instead, he just kept talking. Hassan just kept pressing the record button. That's what happened. Hassan kept pressing the record button. Let me check to see. You know, I haven't even read any of these things, y'all. Forgive me. Suge was a goon in a suit. That's from Obi. Jamel Noble. Get deep with it, Elvis. Soft balling, not soft shoeing, right? Thank you, T-Rilla. Respect. Somebody named YouTube? That's kind of funny. Another rat. Hello, Elvis. Came to check you out, enjoying the content. I subscribe. Thank you, Miss Rush. Miss Roof, my bad. Thank you, Miss Roof. You are respected. And the Cash App is ElvisRosenberg. $ ElvisRosenberg. DJ Ack was lit today. Yeah, he had, I think, 15,000 at some point. Hassan Campbell had that yesterday, humbly. What's the psychology behind why the victim can't execute violence on the person who violated them? T. Riddler, it's kind of messed up to say this, but you see what happens is most children that have been violated by an adult are not aware that what they're doing is wrong. No, they feel this massive amount of love coming from their, let me just double check to see. Do you think Wack 100 actions can be used against him by Kim K? Seems like Wack 100 is blockbusters of sex tapes. Yeah, he's the blockbusters of the sex tape. That's the thunder sound. Correct. Wack is a snake. Correct. That's from Sam Johnson. Thunder sounds again. He was trying to mentally torture him. You're talking about today when he kept saying he's going to get his channel. Rob Lowe, I see you from the beginning. 908. Respect. Thunder sounds. 100. Damn, bro, you're pretty entertaining and learned. No swine, please. I like that. No swine. That's good. The thunder sound. Laugh out loud. TV turned off. Rocking the snot box and turning it to, yeah, thunder sound. You think it's all made up. What's good, Big Elvis? That's a thunder sound. All right. So I'm kind of caught up here. But someone asked a really good question. This is T. Riddler. He's been with me. He's a day one. And he says, what's the psychology behind why the victims can't execute violence on the persons who violated them? Okay. I'm going to tell you. And this is like, could be controversial, but these are facts. It's like you have an abusive child, and this child, let's say, gets taken by the authorities, and then the mother or the parent comes to like see the kid on like a visitation, and the kid is like all over the parent crying, I miss you so much, I love you. You see, these pedophiles, what they do is they love on your children before they touch on them. And they become these comforting spaces in these, a lot of times, destructive spaces where the mother's on drugs, there's no father in the home. It's so much easier to corrupt those kind of children. And these people in these certain positions, like, you know, camp counselors, you know, you have to tell them your problems, you know, all those kind of things. Priests, any of those situations. It could be teachers, priests, softball coaches, football coaches. All these people become protectors to these children. These children start to feel like they can only turn to this person. And then what happens is there's an introduction. And the introduction is maybe like a massage. And you give me one, I'll give you one. And next thing you know, it starts to escalate into other things. And the child is trying to keep that loving, protective family together, or this new friendship, whatever that child has found. And what they end up doing is having sexual acts with this adult. And this adult still holds on to the love. And as the kid gets older, the kid starts to realize that, wait a minute, this is like a big time secret over here. We're not supposed to be doing this. This is absolutely wrong. I'm actually not even supposed to, I'm supposed to be like with the opposite sex. I'm not even supposed to be with that. That's if it's a same sex thing, you know, like a male with a young boy, or it could even be a woman with a young boy too. There's a lot of women out there. When I was a kid, I was kind of like in a bad situation with this woman neighbor who, when I would play on the block, she would be like, you want to come up and use the bathroom? And I used to be like, all right. So I would go to her house to use the bathroom, and she used to always say, I don't want you to pee on the floors. Don't pee on my floors. Matter of fact, I'll hold it for you so that you don't pee on the floor. And I was like, okay. So she's there holding it for me while I'm urinating. And what happens is, I had no idea that there was something wrong with that. And this went on for like, let's say 2 or 3 summers. My mom never knew about it. My mother never knew I ran upstairs to this lady's house to use the bathroom. And while at her house in the bathroom, she's holding me so that I don't pee on her floor. How crazy is that? It wasn't until I'm a grown man that I realized that that was not cool, man, for that lady to do that to me. Like, how dare she? You know, like, especially now that I have the children, my kids are with me. I can't even imagine my son running off to go do anything like that. And I actually had this conversation with him. I told him what happened to me. And for him to be aware of, there are women also out there like that. You see, so what happens is, these women or men that are preying on either the same sex of the child or the opposite sex of the child, they create a loving, safe environment. And that loving, safe environment gets you so full of love that when you find out what you're doing is wrong, you leave that person alone, but you can't kill them because you still love that person. You're not in love with them. You're not romantically in love with them. That never happened. You just needed to be feeling safe. And that's what you did. You felt safe with this person. But they wanted kind of like to make them, I'm just going to help make them happy. So you try to do what you got to do to make this person happy. Because you know they're not your parents. Because you know you can't do that with your parents. You know they're not your siblings. You can't do that with your siblings. You know they're not your cousins because you kind of can't do that with your cousins, even though you might have played around a little bit, you know, a little bit. But what you're doing is you're trying to hold on to a safe, loving space. And that's why people that are victimed by these people cannot kill them. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. So that's what Hassan tried to explain to this unintelligent man, that, yo, dude, it's not like that. And he was like, yeah, just because he bought your mother groceries. It wasn't what it was. It's also that he became like a sidekick to some degree, where everyone knew that they were like friends and they were close. And then for this man to say, to identify the acts that happened to Hassan, and to constantly say, this is what you did, this is where you did it, this is the places that you put it at. That was like so damaging and so crazy, land, for Whack 100 to say that about Hassan Campbell, who was between 5 and 13 years old. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, if he said that didn't happen and he didn't do that, then that didn't happen. He's been honest up until, I mean, he said things that nobody is saying. No one is articulating what happened to him as a kid. No one. And yet you're gonna, you want to not deal with the reality that you, sir, talk too much. That's whack 100. You talk too much, bro. What are you doing? What are you talking like that for? Are you crazy? All right. Wifey is texting me, telling me dinner is ready. So let me. What did Wack expect Hassan to do with that info? I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. What did Wack? Let me see. What did Wack expect Hassan to do with that info? Well, he thought that Hassan was bussy. He thought that Hassan was, he sized him up, so he didn't think he was going to do anything with it. He thought he was just going to eat that, and that's coming from Miss Ruth. Let me see. The thunder sound destroyed himself. Tell me what you mean, the thunder sound. You know, I've had my issues with Hassan Campbell, you know, and they really wasn't clout chasing issues. It was just, you know, certain things I didn't appreciate. You know, I know what happens when he's drinking alcohol, and I know that you know, when you're doing a 3-hour live and you're keeping your numbers at a certain level, I understand what can happen. I understand that you can just say too much. So, but this case here, you got to look at Hassan Campbell more as a Tasha K right now with his numbers. He's like a Tasha K right now. Would Whack 100 think anything less of Tasha K if she was, let me turn this car off, I'm wasting gas over here. I don't know. Okay, we got something here now. He was either bragging about his powers to manipulate, or he knew that Hassan would spit that and make himself look like a fool. No. I disagree with that. I've heard that argument all day for the last 3 days. I do not. I think that Whack 100 believed that Hassan would not say anything to anyone. The way he said, you look like, what's his name? He said that you had these gangster body movements, but you look like Ak in the face. And then admits to telling Ak about what happened with Nip. He's like, oh yeah, I already told you what happened. You already knew and you never said anything. So he looked at Hassan as the same way, that they're in the same level. So he feels like he could tell Hassan anything. And Hassan ain't going to tell nobody, because Hassan, when you get Hassan one-on-one, he's bussy. He sized them up. That's because Hassan doesn't give the eye contact that he needs. He's a gang member. He thinks all the eye contact is all, you know, that makes you tough. That don't make you tough. So he felt like he was bringing 2 chubby-faced bloggers into his fold. Facts. That's a fact. Yes. Yeah, he thought he had them under his, he thought he had them in the smash. And he said it, though. He says, I sized him up. I sized him up. He ain't got it in him. He ain't got it in. Yeah, he talking about them bodies he had, but he ain't, like, yo, dude, you have no idea what you talking about. I think Hassan Campbell would do him dirty in a fist fight. And Hassan Campbell, you know, neither one of them have been in the gym like that. Hassan Campbell, he does his arms and all that kind of stuff, but he also suffers from some sort of disease that keeps him in a, like he's soft, like his skin is like it's not all like cut up and muscular, because he's dealing with some sort of, I don't know, I can't remember what he said. It was many years ago, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm sure Hassan Campbell could last 3-4 minutes, enough to beat the living daylights out of Wack, because that's all you really need. Wack won't be able to go 3-4 minutes with Hassan Campbell. I will put my money on Hassan Campbell, and I don't even think it would be like a haymaker, big arm swinging. No, I think he would plant his feet properly, and I think he would hit him with the right hook, left hook, uppercut him, little knee to the jaw, and then get to stomping him out. I think that's how it would go down. I think Wack 100 would be the one throwing the haymaker and backpedaling and trying to bounce on his toes and ain't got the air for it. But that's just me. What do I know? So he felt like he was bringing two chubby-faced bloggers to the front. Yeah. All right. I've said enough. Nipsey Hussle. Supposedly everyone knows what happened with him and his taste for the man love, I guess. Even though I do have to say something. If my kids are listening, turn that thing off right now. Do not be listening to what Daddy's saying. And I think LJ would not be allowing them to hear this anyway. But yeah, because my kids like to sneak and watch some of my lives. But a friend of mine's, this was just before the towers went down. He had this girl, this Puerto Rican chick, up in Girard, on Girard Avenue, right before you get to 161st Street. And this very good friend of mine, we went over to her house. She had the sunken living room, real fly. And what we did was we were all hanging out, having what was that? Oh, that drink. It's like the licorice drink. So we had this licorice drink, we was over there and we're drinking this licorice drink, and we're chasing it down with the Coors Light and the Corona. And after about 30-40 minutes, we decided to have some fun. And I remember she was like, "You tell me what you want me to do." And he was like, "I want you to take care of us." And she was like, "All right." So she gave him all that extra eye contact. "I'll do it for you because I love you," kind of a thing. So there was a situation that happened, and where she was facing me, right? And he was behind her. And everything was cool, no real crazy issues. She was able to get the rhythm going. Everything was pretty cool. And then I had said, "You come around and I'll get back there." And when we did that move, he started tonguing her down and kissing on her. And I felt a little uncomfortable, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "Ain't that where I was just at? What are you doing?" So, I didn't let it stop me. But I did feel a little uncomfortable, I have to admit. I was like, "Whoa, what's that about, dude? What are you doing?" I'm down for the high five and the elbow bump, but passionately kissing her right after. I was like, interesting. So it's needless to say, I stood away from all that. I never kissed the girl. I'll tell you that. I never kissed her. That's one thing I didn't do. And so, just, the whole Nipsey thing is what the correlation is. Stockholm Syndrome. Jaeger. Yeah, Jägermeister. Thank you. Brandon Butler. Wow, I haven't seen you in a minute, Brandon. So, what you gonna do? But it did make me feel a little uncomfortable, and I have to admit, I have to say this part. I never kind of put myself in another situation with that guy. You know, it's like, we're going to maybe not do that again. Oh, you are appreciated. Thank you for checking out this small channel on YouTube. The only way that this can continue is if you hit the Cash App, and that's $ Elvis Rosenberg. I'll put it in the chat. All right. I love you.